Good afternoon everyone and welcome to Crucible Chat. Yes, it's Saturday, it's that time of the week where, as usual, I play a bit of Destiny pretty badly and get to rant about whatever the fuck it is I want. As usual, my name is Mike, otherwise known as the Gadget Addicts, and in the background here we have a bit of Control on Rusted Lands. We lose this one by a fucking gnat's whisper. Oh my god, we nearly win this one and we were doing so well and it just didn't work out. But anyway, today I want to have a little talk about free-to-play games. Yes, it's that old chestnut again. Chestnut? Fucking hell, I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's that old chestnut again, which has reared its ugly, cash-seeking head this week with the release of H1Z1, which is Sony Online Entertainment's take on the zombie survival endless game thing, like a lot like DayZ actually. In fact, apparently it's embarrassingly like DayZ. But one of the big things is the game is supposed to be free to play, and there is this well, for a start, it's on early access at the minute and you have to pay 15 quid to get it, so I don't know how that works for a free to play game. I might be reading that wrong though. But there is this one feature in it which I find a little bit galling, which is the ability you can, when you play H1Z1, you can pay rather to have supplies airdropped in. Now, this is a survival game, remember. The whole purpose of the game is you're dropped into this world with nothing. You know, with just a shirt on your back and a couple of slots to hold stuff, and you have to go and find what you need to survive. So you need to find water, food, in a lot of cases things to open said food if it's in tins. You've got to find weaponry, you've got to find friends, you've got to avoid zombies, you've got to not die of starvation or dehydration, that kind of thing. And again, if you die, there's permadeath. Now, what they've put into this game, even despite the fact that they promised it would not be like pay to win or pay for advantage, is this idea of airdrop. So you pay for the airdrop, plane flies over the top and drops a cache of randomly generated items. Could be weapons, could be food, could be clothing, could be... either way, it's going to be something useful to you. It's going to be something that at some point you will need. Now, this upsets me a lot because, one, it kind of defeats the object of the game, to me. You know, it's a survival game, you're supposed to find this shit for yourself. And despite the fact that Sony Online Entertainment is saying, no, this game isn't pay to win, that is kind of paying to win. Especially if you end up with some badass shotgun or something and you end up wrecking your way around the map. But, anyway, that's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is, when it gets dropped into the map, obviously it's like a beacon, everyone can see it. And the zombies can hear the plane coming, so the zombies are attracted to it. So there is every chance that if you've paid for this airdrop, you might actually not get it. Another player might get there, you might end up getting killed. So you might end up actually losing your character and losing what you've paid for. And that to me is the most ridiculous thing in the world, because I'm not a cheap person. I like to spend my money quite happily, but I don't like to put money into something where I actually get nothing. And that is a risk doing this, and I think I understand why they kind of made it like that. It's to try and balance it out. It's like kind of risk-reward, but at the same time, how fucking pissed off are you going to be if you put in however much money they're asking for, and I don't know how much they're asking for, but if you put in however much they're asking for, and you get killed on the way to pick up your drop? I mean, that's ridiculous. And I don't understand why people are doing free-to-play so badly, because the concept of it I actually really quite like. Because there are some games where I'm not inclined to pay for it, like simple puzzle games. I'm not that inclined to pay a tenner for the game, but if I can play it for free, and okay, there's maybe some limitations in because the developer or the publisher wants me to buy some shit, that's fine, because I'm not going to buy it. It's... yeah. There are some games that do it well. For instance, CD Projekt Red, they've just literally today, as I'm recording this, have just released The Witcher Battle Arena, which is a free-to-play, massively online battle arena game. And I've downloaded it on my phone, and it's phenomenal. It's great. It's so much fun. I wasted about 3 hours today just playing it. And that one, again, it's free-to-play, and if I want to, I can put money into it to like reduce the amount of time it takes after I die before I come back up. Before I resurrect, because every time the more you die, the longer you have to wait before you respawn. And you can put money in to reduce that, and there'll be money in for items and costumes, but CD Projekt Red have said there is no advantage to doing this. It's purely for vanity's sake, or to just get rid of that little clock. You don't have to do it, and the clock resets at the beginning of every match, so the first time you die in a match, it's only a couple of seconds before you respawn. So it's not like it's a permanent thing and that you're having to like pay to get past it. I'm trying to think what other games have done it well. Oh god, there was a free-to-play game I had on the iPhone back when I had an iPhone. And it was Middle Manager of Justice. That one did it quite well as well, because again, you would do things and you had a certain amount of cooldown time, and you could put money into the game to reset the cooldown times. Now, it did get to the point where I'd played it so much I was having to wait like 24 hours for things to happen. But, you know, I'd cultivated the game so much I had a fair bit I could do on an evening and then wait till the next day and so on and so forth. But that one did it quite well. But then you get like games like there was Dungeon Keeper that was remade for tablets and phones, and that was critically broken by the concept of, well, you had to pay to win. You couldn't actually beat the game without paying, because they engineered the microtransactions in such a way that you couldn't actually progress. And then you even get it in big box games now. So like there was a lot made about, obviously the first one that did it was Dead Space 3, that had these kind of microtransactions. I think I'm more pissed off about microtransactions than I am about free to play. I think that's what the crux of this argument is, because you had Dead Space 3, which had the microtransactions in, which everybody hated, and you've had Forza 5 had microtransactions in, everybody hated it, and people forget Assassin's Creed Unity has them because there's so much to hate with that game. But it has microtransactions, which is the most insane thing in the world. That you can... In fact, it doesn't even have it has macrotransactions, because there's one of them. You buy these helix filament things, I think that's what they're called, that allows you to unlock like badass weaponry that you can't get normally in the game. You don't need this weaponry to finish the game, but if you want it, you've got to pay for it. And there's one of them which is like, I think it's something like 2 million or 200,000 or something like that, helix filaments. It's £65, mind. The game is 45. I mean, come on. Why should I spend more than I paid for the fucking game on stuff that is consumable that I never actually see? Because this is the big issue I have with microtransactions and free-to-play. You are paying for consumable digital items. You don't even see these things. You just see like a little counter change on your screen. And that's it. There is nothing tangible about it. You are giving a developer, or 9 times out of 10 a publisher, because the publisher that requests these things, 9 times out of 10 you're giving a publisher money for fuck all. And especially when it comes to mobile games as well, 99% of the items that you can purchase in-game are just to get past a clock. And this is what's pissing me off about it. And H1Z1 has done it in a very bad way. Assassin's Creed Unity did it in a bad way. Dead Space did it in an awful way. There are so many games that do it so badly, but then all you have to look at is, like I say, The Witcher Battle Arena, which does it really, really well. Dota 2 does it really, really well. You don't have to put any money into Dota 2. You can play that game for as long as you like for nothing. But, you know, if you want some like really exclusive armor or something like that, you want to change the look of your character, yes, you can buy that. But the game doesn't force you to do that. It doesn't put any restrictions on you if you don't do that. So why do people have to keep doing this so badly and in such a way that incenses gamers? I mean, in an ideal world, there wouldn't be any such... For me, there wouldn't be any such thing as free-to-play. Because you find a lot of the games that are free-to-play are complete rip-offs of other games. What's that one that model's advertising at the minute? Game of War Fire Age or something like that. It's the most complete amount of bollocks games. Same with Clash of Clans. You know, these are games that have been done many, many times before. Better. You know, Clash of Clans just reminds me of Age of Empires. And Age of Empires did it so much better. But they're all encouraging you to pump money into these games. In fact, in the most recent series of South Park, there's a episode based around freemium games. That's what they're calling them, freemium. Where they're free, but you kind of have to pay to get through it. And they have this whole thread in the story that basically freemium games are propping up Canada's economy. I think, to be honest, I think that's the funniest thing in the world. But it has this really, really vicious stab at the whole concept. And I'm very much in agreement with it because well, it's quite clear I'm a gamer. I spend a lot of money on games, gaming equipment, gaming peripherals, that kind of thing. I spend a lot of the little money I have on it. The last thing I want to do is put 99 pence into a game just to get past a timer because I'm bored. Because as soon as you make that first payment, you then make a second one because you think, oh, it wasn't so bad last time. Before you know it, You've spent all your life savings, you're sat homeless, the wife's left you, she's taken the cat, she's taken the kids, you're fucked. Okay, that might be an extreme example, and I don't think anyone's actually been made homeless by paying for microtransactions in games, but the issue still stands that these whole free-to-play games, they're not engineered really to be free. And H1Z1 is just a complete clusterfuck at the minute. I mean, apparently it's been released far earlier than it ever should have been. It's like beyond early access. It's stuff that even like fault testers wouldn't look at. But it has this feature where you can pay and run the risk of ending up with nothing. I mean, how shit is that? Seriously, tell me in the comments, how shit would you feel if you paid for one of the supply drops and you got killed on the way to get it? Which means you reset at a different point in the map, you've got a new character, you've lost all your progress, and you've lost your money. You've actually lost your money. You would be better off putting that money into a video poker site, which blatantly has to be rigged because it's a computer program and can't be genuinely random. It has to be rigged and you lose your money anyway, so at least you probably have more fun going to an online casino and you spending that money that way. Oh god, what happened to just buying a game on a disc and having a bit of fun with it? A full, complete game where you didn't need DLC, where you didn't have to pump money into it constantly in microtransaction form. Yeah, well, whatever happened to that? I like that way of gaming. That suits me down to the ground. I mean, hell with when it comes to mobile games, anyone remember like Gameloft and that, where you could, I mean, it was like a $5 to buy a game for your Nokia 3810 or whatever it was, but it fucking worked. 5310, that was it. That was the one I had. It fucking worked. He played it. Granted, it was on like a 1" by 1" screen, but as needs must, people did work miracles with those games, and you didn't have to keep constantly putting fucking money into it. Anyway, that's my Crucible chat. Another unhinged rant here. We lost, but hey-ho, I think I got some gear, which turned out to be worse than the gear I already had. If you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like and subscribe, and come back soon for, we have Half-Life tomorrow, and then we have some new games next week, and obviously and then in a week on Saturday, we have the monthly Bipolar Bear special of Crucible chat. But for now, good night.